Welcome back to New Bits with Vac and Vinnie. We are so glad you're here. We got a great one for him, don't we, Vac?
Oh, we really do. Tommy's one of the best.
Tommy is one of the best. He's a great friend. Vac and I have known him for years. What can I say about him? He's a writer. He's a producer. He's written on the Boondocks. I think he wrote on the Kevin Hart show. He's stand-up comedy. He's got his own show at the Sapphire Lounge. I know. Old Men in Sweats, his podcast. It's a sports podcast. You got to listen to it. A very funny podcast. Great comedian, great writer, great friend. Let's just bring him in here, Vac. Tommy Tallarino.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Tommy T here.
Hey, T, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Tommy.
Yeah, as you can see, I don't take instruction very well. I did my best here.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be at the house or something.
Yeah, listen, life happens. I was gonna be at the daughter's place, but then the ex-wife was there, and I had to change plans.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, Vinny, you don't have one of those.
No, you're lucky, Vinny.
No,
hang in there, hang on to it.
No, I don't. I think I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, you're done. You're ready. This is your life.
You're good. Well, you do, but Vinny, you do have the one that was released from prison that always vowed to get you, right?
Oh yeah.
Got the one. Vinny's got the one that was in prison forever, and she said when she gets out, she's going to get him. She's out now, right?
I think.
Dude,
I heard she's out.
What was that back?
I think she's out. It was on Yahoo News. She's out.
Yeah, she's out. Yeah. No, not only is she out, but she's contacted me on Facebook a couple of times.
Vinny, listen, I had to get off of Facebook. Vinny, oh my God, she's got the same name as the other one with the long nails. The other one, who was the other one with the long nails? They're the same name, right?
Let's not name names.
Oh my God, Vinny.
You're right, buddy. There's 1 and 2.
Yes. The name will come to me, but I won't say it. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's move on.
Moving on.
As you can see, though, I remember everything that you guys tell me, like over the years. I pay attention. Like it's one of the things.
You do, Tommy. You have really good memory. I mean, it's amazing.
I do. I mean, I think that the biggest thing with comedy is just paying attention to the details. It's like you got to pay attention to all the little things. And so, you guys are telling me stories, and I'm listening, and I'm getting, you guys are both great storytellers to begin with, right? So just a natural story is going to be funny, and then of course, you work on it and turn it into a bit.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a really good point you just made, Tommy. Not that I'm surprised, but for comics who are starting out, pay attention to the details. That's a great piece of advice for comics. How many times have you heard a joke or you hear a guy do a bit and there's something one little point, one little thing. Yeah. Maybe Wyoming is funny and Rhode Island isn't. Whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean? But that little detail can change everything.
Everything's in the details. I mean, I worked on a bit about me. I chickened out skydiving. Like I went up skydiving with a girl, and that's one of my big bits. It's one of my closing bits, and it's always been a great bit. And of course, like any bit, you build on it over the years. Starts out 2 or 3 minutes, and it can end up 5 or 6 minutes. And so I remember I was telling a bit at the Comedy Store, and one of my buddies, another great comedian, Ian Edwards. I was talking about how I was in the plane and I was chained to the guy, and I was sitting on the guy's lap, and I was in line. And my friend said, he said, he says, when you're in that plane, he said, I'd like to hear more details of what it's like to be in the skydiving plane. And I never thought of that, so cause it just builds the story. So I'm like, so I do the whole bit about how you're starting out and, you're like, we're jumping, baby, we're jumping, and like, as you're driving up there getting drunk, and then then you get up there and you see the guy rolling up the chute. You see him rolling up the chute and putting the chute in his parachute, like putting it away. And then like they get you ready. They put the jumpsuit on you and the helmet on you. Then they chain a guy to your ass because it's a tandem jump, so you do the whole thing. And so when you get in the plane, I wasn't giving any details of the plane. And he said, give some more details. So I remember sitting there and I said, the plane takes off and they don't shut the door. So like, the plane's going, you're 10,000 feet in the air, but the door's open still because you're going to jump out of it. And that's when you realize I'm jumping. And then, so then I started describing, there's like everything's flying around inside the cockpit, like the straps are flying around from the ceiling and the seats are like moving and everything. And there's papers all rattling around. And so, you're in a plane and everything is loose and flying around. And so those details, like, they help that bit. Like people get the visual
it's
of
a convertible.
in this with,
it's a convertible.
You're in a convertible plane.
Yeah.
That's a great line to put in that bit.
Put it in there.
Like the plane, like I'm in a convertible plane.
Convertible.
Yeah. So I chicken, and the punchline is I chickened out at the door of the plane at 12,500 feet, and the guy's pushing into me and I'm pushing back and he's pushing into me and that's but that's the bit. But the details matter.
Absolutely.
Details matter.
Yeah.
Good point. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no, that's great. What do you got for us, T? You mentioned that you might have something that you were working on or you wanted to bring to the podcast?
Yeah, like one of the things I started working on is I'm on my second marriage, and it's great. I love it. And but trying to build up like a bit about the second marriage, and the thing that I was working on. It was, first of all, even saying that I'm on my second marriage, I'm a little uncomfortable because it sounds like I'm not done. like Vinny, you're married. So when you meet someone, you don't tell them I'm on my first marriage. You just tell them I'm married, right?
Right.
So, but for some reason, when we're in our second marriage, we say, oh, I'm on my second marriage. Yeah. Like there's going to be a third and a fourth and a fifth and, God forbid, so like that's the first thing that's uncomfortable. And so like one of the things that I was working on was that what I tried to do is take stock of everything I did wrong in my first marriage, and just be honest with myself and just like list everything, like write it all down, I'm going to listen more, I'm going to, I'm going to, like, I'm not going to argue as much. I'm not going to be as paranoid, like I'm, just, like trying to list all these things. And one of the things I had was, like tell the audience, listen, I'm not going to repeat any of these mistakes that I made off this long list. Like I'm not sleeping with this one sister, like something like that, like. Yeah. But so I was trying to come up with like I'm striving for perfection here, on the second one. But really now that I'm years into it, I'm realizing that perfection is just another way of me just saying yes, honey, like no matter what, like it's just because that that's what makes it good is whatever she says, yes, honey, like absolutely, yeah, we'll do that. What do you want me to do? Yeah. I'll do that. So so that's where I'm at, but I'm just trying to build that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like the line about I don't want to say it's my second marriage or I'm in my second marriage because it sounds like maybe there's going to be a third or a fourth. So how else would you word that? Like how else would you say?
Well, the way I've been wording it is like I'm even uncomfortable saying I'm on my second marriage. It's like to imply that I'm not done. Yeah. Like there's going to be more.
Yeah.
There's going to be a third. There's going to be a fourth. Like, I'd be more comfortable just saying, yeah, I'm married. I mean, someone
I'm married.
Says,
I'm married.
Yeah. If someone asks, well, yeah, I was married once before. Yeah. And the other thing is, my first wife used to always say, when we were married, because we were in Hollywood, so we would go to a lot of Hollywood parties, and there was a lot of those producers and those famous guys. They were in their 50s. They had young children, not young. They had 20-year-old daughters, and they had 22-year-old second wives. You know, a lot of those Hollywood guys had these young second wives, right? You know, a lot of these famous guys that we were walking in the circles with. And my first wife used to always joke, and she used to always say, yeah, Tommy's second wife is going to be so lucky. Like his second wife's going to be so lucky. Joking around like, you know, like I was going to like strike it rich and the second wife was going to have it made. She's going to be, but you know, she was joking, but she ended up being right. Like the second wife is luckier because I don't argue about nothing. Like I don't, you know, it's not about, you know, not for the money, but I don't say anything about, you know, whatever you say, I'm not going to argue because I'm not going to win.
Yeah. That's what that's what I thought of, Tommy, was, you know, and I learned this, I don't know, maybe my 5th or 6th year in, you know, there's no benefit to being right. There's nothing. Fuck being right, you know.
But see, Vinny, you learned that when you weren't supposed to learn it. You learned it in your first marriage. Nobody learns it in their first marriage. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I was like, you know, maybe she's just such a horrible person when she's wrong that I learned my lesson early. I don't know. It's, you know.
Yeah. So in other words, even when she's wrong, she's right.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. But that's
always
essentially what you're. Yes, exactly. But that's essentially what you're saying. You say nothing. You know. That's it. You know.
So Tommy, are you saying that like your second wife is lucky because you've been trained? You've already been trained. It's like adopting a pet that's housebroken. Like it's like she went to the shelter and they said, "This guy's housebroken."
This guy's
I'm housebroken. I don't know if trained or I was like I was the heavyweight champion of the world that got his ass kicked. Like you know, I feel like I just got my ass kicked. So now like, you know, the eagle's gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But housebroken is better. I mean that's you know,
yeah.
It's like what is it?
What is it when they get a wild horse and they tame it? What do they?
They break it.
They break it. Yeah.
They break it. They break its mane.
Yeah, housebroken. Housebroken is a great word, Vac. Yeah.
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 It's like you're already housebroken.
I'm housebroken now.
No puppy, no puppy stages. You know, you're full grown.
The other thing is.
You don't pee on the seat no more.
I lift it up. What do you mean? I mean, I sit down. Sit down. It's cleaner.
Why rock the boat? I sit down.
I just sit down. It's cleaner.
Yeah, it's cleaner.
Yeah, it's way cleaner. I mean, what the heck? I mean, I'm constantly cleaning otherwise. Yeah, that's it. Listen, the biggest difference in the second marriage is you learn to sit down and pee.
Be honest, fellas. Be honest.
That's it.
That's really funny.
See, Tommy, when you said I sit, I just get this mental image of you tiptoeing around the house. You know?
That's it. That's it.
Tiptoeing around the house. Everything okay? Yeah. Don't rock.
And the other thing is she's super smart too. Like she's like very intelligent, like very smart woman. I had a friend once tell me, my friend, he tried to date smart women, and he said to me once, he said, "Listen, I don't know what it is. I love smart women, but they always catch me doing stupid shit." You know, and that's that's the other thing. It's like, you know, she's super smart. So like, listen, don't do anything stupid. You just get caught. Like just save it.
Yeah.
Save it.
You know,
save it for the guys.
Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it. Yeah. Save it to the guys that stand up and pee.
Yeah.
This guy's not doing that no more.
I think that's really funny that when you say that you sit to pee, all the things that you should have done in a first marriage, but you didn't, but you're doing it now.
Yeah.
You're housebroken.
I'm housebroken. When I say I'm housebroken, I sit to pee, people. I don't rock the boat and that, you know. I want to hang on to this one. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit it. I sit and pee.
That's
right.
I'm on my second marriage, but that's not to say there's going to be a third, fourth, and a fifth. I'm done. This is it.
Yeah.
I've learned my
lesson. Yeah. Oh my God. Who plans it? Nobody plans it this way, man.
No. Nobody does.
Nobody
does.
No.
It's brutal.
You can't do it.
Dude, Tommy, that is so funny about this whole thing you're talking about is hysterical.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that's the and that's the area that I was heading towards, trying to just keep things autobiographical. Everybody does a different version, but some people do like the observational stuff, but like for me what works is just trying to find what's in my life that I think is, just funny enough to like just introduce it, This is what I'm going through. I don't know about any of you guys, but I'm going through this one. And if you haven't gone through it, listen, you don't want any part of this, This is for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. That's really funny, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. When you tell the truth like that, when you tell an audience the truth like that, they love it. They love it. Like Tommy, for a while, opening up for James, I was talking about how, my wife's got a full-time job, so when I'm not doing this, I'm the nanny. 8 hours a day. You think I wanted to be Mary Poppins when I grew up? You think that's who I idolized? I'm the nanny. So I'm very happy to be here with you people. You have no idea. So I never wanted to admit that. I never wanted to admit, I'm a fucking nanny 8 hours a day. But I did it on stage and they loved it.
They love it, yeah.
They love it. So I'm thinking if you go, listen, I don't rock the boat no more. I'm housebroken. When I say I'm housebroken, I sit down to pee, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, you don't say the word housebroken until you list all the things that you're not doing anymore.
Yeah,
No. I learned my lesson. I'm housebroken. I'm serious. Don't listen. I sit down to pee.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's funny, Tom.
But like when I think about when I started out doing the comedy, I was trying to tell a bunch of jokes about sports, because I'm so into sports, and I do all this stuff, and I was trying to find all these funny things, and I wasn't landing anywhere. And then I remember I had my daughter was newborn, and I was opening for Ralphie May, and he would take me on the road, and he was like a celebrity. I mean, he was like a star, So I remember we were doing a theater somewhere in California, 600, 700 seat theater is packed, and they're all there to see Ralphie. And I was bombing, and he loved it. Like, he used to take me on the road, and I'd bomb, and he'd laugh at how bad I did, because it was way before I should have been on stage. And I remember I finally just decided to get real, and I got up there and I told the audience that Ralphie, I'm a new father. I got a little infant daughter at home. I said, so Ralphie asked me to do this gig, and I was just like, I don't even know where it is, but yeah, I'll do it. Hell yeah. Like, just let me get out of the house. And I was telling the audience that, when you're a new father, like, I don't think you're ever ready to become a father. Like, I wasn't really ready. I said, and it's not like a woman, we had the room already painted. We had the crib, we had the car seat, we had everything, but I wasn't really ready. And I realized it in the delivery room. When I'm there and we're waiting and the doctor's like, the baby's coming, I can see the baby's head, the baby's coming. And like all these thoughts go through your mind, like, shit, I got to get a job.
Yeah.
And that was the first laugh I ever got on stage. Like the whole 600 people just exploded.
Yeah.
When I said, shit, I got to get a job.
Yeah,
And I said, like, there's nothing worse than being unemployed when the kid's born. I said, and I just built on that. But that was the first thing that told me to be real, and that, so that's how, it went from that, like Like my father was like, you had 9 months to get a job. Like what the frick? How could you embarrass us? And I was like, listen, she's 2 weeks premature. That's not fair. You know, like I just kept, it's just,
Get
just
off
keep
my
adding
back.
jokes,
Boom. Yeah. It's great.
But that's so like, yeah. So keeping it real, like we
Yeah.
just talked about this tonight, and somehow we got to me sitting and peeing like that. That's just
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, like you said something. And I said, well, yeah, I sit and pee, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
for me
It goes
that works.
it goes perfectly
Yeah.
with Vac's word housebroken, to describe
Yeah,
how you've
yeah,
changed in this relationship. It's perfect.
Yeah.
yeah. Keeping it real. For some people, like keep it as real as you can up there. It works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah.
that cruise director who wanted me to do more of those jokey jokes.
Jokey jokes.
That's the see. Listen, Vac, when you told that story, you did
Oh,
the first set. You did a couple jokey jokes, and then you came off stage and you thought that was good. You thought, okay, I gave him what he
yeah.
asked for, and he came back to you and he said that was good. You said do a couple more, do a few more. You're like, I don't. You were telling us I don't even know any jokey jokes. I don't have any jokey jokes. So then you somehow come up with a couple more. You went up there, you did a couple more, and then he came back and he wanted the whole set jokes.
Yeah.
Like what the freak?
Does it not okay? But when I was telling you that story, Tommy, was that the show when I had food poisoning? Does that ring a bell?
I don't remember the food poisoning.
Okay, all
I
right.
remember you and I were doing a show. It was outside. We were doing one of those Italian festivals somewhere in California. I don't know.
Okay.
We drove like a couple hours, and there was a big stage, and we were the comics, and we had to do a set outside. And listen, there's nothing like doing comedy outside. Like there's nothing funny outside.
I hate it.
Nothing's funny outside.
Right, and you, I mean, like Greg, you're a strong comic, like stronger than me, and you were up there. I did my set. I don't think anyone even. Nobody even looked up from their like. What is that cake that they get?
The lasagna.
Yeah. Funnel cake. Yeah.
Nobody even looked up from the funnel cake. So I got off stage, and you get up there, and I mean, you were a powerhouse, and they listened to you. They were watching you. Which is a freaking victory. But there's a one comedian. Is his name Dimitri Martin? You guys know that name, Dimitri Martin?
Yeah.
I know who that is. I don't know him, but I know who that is. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's kind of like the one comic that passed away that had all he was all the one-liner guy, Mitch Hedberg. Remember that guy? Yeah. So this Dimitri Martin, he was like a cleaner version of Mitch Hedberg. He would just do all the one-liners, and he was doing a comedy special, and he came out and he said, "This is a good room for a comedy special." He says, where you don't want to do comedy is outside. Like the worst place to do a comedy special is at the beach. He said, that's the worst place. He said, this is a great room. He says, this room is a fire hazard. Low ceilings, wires hanging off the ceiling. He says, a place that could go up in flames is a great place to do a comedy festival. I mean, a comedy, comedy special, because the laughter just explodes.
Yeah.
And I thought of that. I was like, that freaking guy's right. I mean, the best rooms are the ones where the ceilings are like a foot over your head.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And the crowd is just one exploding, and as opposed to those Italian festivals. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sure. But Tommy, I love this thing, man. I love this thing about your first wife saying, "Oh, Tommy's second wife is going to be lucky." She was kidding.
Yes.
She thought maybe we'd be divorced and I'd be a big superstar. Well, I'm not a superstar, but my second wife is lucky. We are a superstar to us, but we know what she meant. And then you could say, but my second wife is lucky, not because of anything that I have, but because I'm housebroken. It's like she went to the shelter and adopted an adult dog, and they said already housebroken. She's like, "I'll take him." And she led you out. She signed the papers. And you go, folks, I'm housebroken. I don't do anything I used to do in my first marriage. I learned everything. My wife used to tell me, lift the seat up when you pee. Not only do I not lift the seat up, I sit to pee. I'm not making any messes with this broad. I'm not getting divorced again. So she is lucky, but for the wrong reason.
She can walk. She can walk me without a leash.
She can walk you. All shit.
She doesn't.
Tommy,
she walks me.
You.
I'm allowed in restaurants. I'm allowed
without a leash. Without a leash. She doesn't have to worry about me running off in the cars or nothing. She just walks me right alongside of her.
Yeah.
Good boy. She says all the time, "Good boy. Good boy. Good boy."
And you just look at her so loyally, you know.
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, I think this analogy that she adopted a dog is what's kind of like that. She signed the papers. Yeah. It's like she went into the shelter and they said, "This one's housebroken." It's like, "I'll take him." Don't you want a little bit of no? As long as he's housebroken, I'll take him. Yeah, you get you home and your house broken. I'm not doing that. I love the idea that you don't that you sit to pee. I sit to pee. I don't give a shit what you think. I sit to pee. You know what? No arguments. I don't splash anywhere. It's all good. Just come home from work
I don't forget to leave the seat up because I never lift it.
That's the least thing I never lifted.
I never lift it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says, "Why'd you put the seat down?" It's never up.
Yeah, it's never up.
Tommy, this is funny. She walks me without a leash.
Good.
Are you kidding
good.
me?
Yes. That's good.
That's a great line.
Yeah. Well, that's why, like, you know, when Vinny said you work on bits, so I mean that was something that, you know, ahead of my head. Let's put it out there and see. But that's great. Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
I think that's really funny. And I don't know anybody that does anything like that. I've never heard that concept where it's like your second wife is lucky. It's like she adopted you.
Yeah.
Because I'm already housebroke. It's like already being housebroke.
Yeah.
The first one trained me. She's got a fully trained adult male.
But and see, the thing is, Greg, like, you know, at some point, like, I want to go back to that and say, and listen, you don't get to become housebroken until you take an honest account of everything you did the first time around. So, guys, when you get divorced, the only way you get housebroken is you say, "Look, I did this and this and this and this and this. I cannot do this again. If I do all these things again, I'm gonna be heading to number 3."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Who wants that?
Listen, I'm not going to sleep with her sister. I'm not going to call her brother a deadbeat. I'm not going to get in a fist fight with her dad. You know, I'm not going to get drunk and yak in the back seat of her car. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Everything that I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to accuse her father of not wearing the pants. I actually did that. I said, "Look, it'd be a good idea if your father wears the pants in the family. Like the mother was to run the family. I'm not going to do any of that."
Well, they say even better, dude. Even better. I mean, if you come up with something that, you know, actually happened. I was going to things like, no need to clear my browser history. I don't look at porn anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so funny. That's right. We used to clear the browser history. Yes.
Yeah. No need to clear the browser history. I don't even look at porn anymore.
Yeah.
Why risk it? Why risk it? You know?
Yeah. That's really good, Vinny. That's real. No need to clear the browser history. Yeah. I don't watch porn anymore. I don't watch it.
I don't watch it. Yeah. Learn my lesson. Yeah.
I'm off porn.
Yeah.
I got in more trouble with that than listen. Yeah. I'm the only guy in my first marriage that got accused of cheating on his wife on porn.
Really?
I mean, you're cheating on me. I'm watching this.
Yeah. Well, I just want to see something.
Tommy, this is good stuff.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Stuff. You list the stuff. Yeah, I like that. I like that how you started it. Yeah. Yep.
Really smart, really funny.
List. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it real.
Yes. Yeah. And details, like you said earlier. This is good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So what are you guys working on? Vac, what are you working on?
Right now, Vin's got something he wants to do.
Yeah, I got a little thing, but T, let me ask you real quick. When's your next show? When's your next
Yeah,
show?
I don't have anything scheduled right now. Like I got, a couple of guys in Vegas are calling me like I
About
got Phil Pareto's constantly like, wanting me to go up and stuff like that. So I was just starting to get back into it again, because I took a
Okay.
break, you know.
okay.
Like I got to get some like Vac, what rooms do you work in Vegas?
Dude, I hardly work in Vegas. I'm gone so much.
Yeah.
I'm just gone too much, and it's hard. I'm home for 4 days and I'm gone again.
Yeah, and you don't probably don't even
Yeah.
feel like doing comedy when you come home for 4 days. You probably don't even feel like doing comedy.
No,
So you're on the ships a lot now, right? You're on the cruise
yeah,
ships?
yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
where do you fly out of mostly? Like where are you going to Miami to catch the ships, or are you going to
All
LA?
over, L.A.,
Okay.
Florida. A lot of times I fly to one of the islands. You pick up a ship in the island. My next ship I pick up in, I think, St. Kitts. All that kind of stuff. It goes
Okay.
Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alaska.
yeah. I
Yeah,
do a
that would
lot of
be the cruise
Alaska.
I get. I would get Alaska in January. That'd be my cruise.
Nobody wants it. Call Tommy. All right,
chopping the ice off the boats.
it's hysterical.
Yeah,
So,
let me
Vinny,
tell
what
you
did you
something.
get? Do you want to work on something, Vin?
Yeah, kind of. This is something. You know how like you come up with a bit and maybe you do the bit, maybe you don't do the bit, but eventually you forget about the bit, and then something happens, and then you remember about the bit. You're like, oh man, that was funny. Why don't I? Why am I
Yeah.
not thinking about? Anyway,
Right.
that happened recently.
Okay.
It's I was riding on the subway, and I remembered about this bit that I used to do, or that was in my head when I lived in Los Angeles, and I did it one time, and it died because it came across very, very racist, which was not my intention. It was my intention to walk the line just so I could come around. And anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it as I did it in Los Angeles so you can see why it didn't work. And I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to do it
Okay.
with the way that I've come up with to change it.
Okay.
And you guys let me know if you think it'll work this way, if it's funny, and if I should just trash it. Okay, here it goes. Here's how I used to. When the first I only did it one time on stage and it died, and I just put it on the back shelf. Forgot about it for years. Very recently, remember it. Here's this. I go. So I run the subway today. You guys ride on the subway here in Los Angeles? Yeah. There's a lot of illegals on the subway. Have you noticed that? and that's how I it just sucked the air out of the room. And I wasn't trying to be, because I was just going, hey, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Matter of fact, I think it brings us together as Americans. Still, it didn't work. I couldn't get them back. So here's what I thought to change it to possibly make it work. Okay. So I had jury duty last week, which means I rode the subway Monday through Friday, twice a day, to downtown and back. So I think I am a semi-expert on this. Have you noticed on the subway, there's a lot of, how can I say this without pissing you off? There's a lot of undocumented personnel on the subway, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, because it could bring us together as Americans. I mean, Friday, my last day on the subway, I'm just looking at all these people, and I know not one of these motherfuckers speaks English. I probably won't use the word motherfucker. I know nobody on this train speaks English but me and this other guy. And it was me and him, the only two people that spoke English. And he was, and there was a moment we bonded. We eyes locked. And it would never have normally happened, because he was, how can I say this without pissing you guys off? Gang affiliated. So we would never have hung out, but he looked at me, I looked at him, and we shared this moment of knowing, like, yeah, man, we came together as Americans, man. That's a great thing. We even got off at the same stop, I saw him, he saw me. We did that whole handshake thing, It was beautiful. Then the motherfucker stole my wallet. But for one moment,
yeah,
we were united, indivisible, under God, with liberty and justice. Well, not justice, but we were united together. Does that fix it or no?
Yeah, I like when you say, how can I say that? Like at the beginning, you tell them that you're on jury duty, right?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
twice a day,
So I
and you
believe
say,
be an expert. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that makes me a semi-expert.
Yeah.
So how can I say this without pissing you off? Like something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the things that hit me real quick is, how can I say this without getting kicked off of a jury? Like something like that, right? How can I say this without getting kicked off a jury?
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe that. And then the other thing is, when you said, I don't think anyone spoke English on the subway except me and this one guy.
Yeah.
That's fine. But another option is, I think there were 8 different languages being spoken on that subway. One of them being English. Me and this guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so they're not just from like Mexico or Central America, but they're from everywhere. Like
that's very interesting. There was 8 different languages being spoken on this train, and not one of them was English.
Yeah.
Because I want to find a way for me and this guy to connect. We would never normally connect.
What if you also?
Like,
I'm
you
sorry.
Know what I'm saying?
When you say you're looking at the jury, and how do I say it without offending or whatever, they were undocumented, whatever you call them, same as the jury. There were 8 different languages being spoken, same as the jury. Nobody's American.
Courtroom still.
Same as the jury.
Or same as the jury, or same as the defendant.
Yeah, there was one guy. There was
same
one guy.
As the defendants in my case. Yeah. So you could keep
draw the analogy from the subway car to the jury or to the courtroom.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if they still find it racist, like when you say however, like how can it make us not piss you guys off? If you still sense they think that's racist, then you can let them know that you're in on it, that you know that you lost them, and you could say, listen, I should have used this bit to get off the jury.
yeah.
I mean, if it's pissing you off, I could have got off the jury and do it.
Yeah. But do you see how it's not my intention to be racist? It's only my intention to walk the line just so I could make this connection with this guy. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally see that. The only problem is anytime that we say it's not our intention to be racist, we're almost always racist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because just to say it's not my intention to be racist, it's 100% gonna come off like that.
Right.
See,
that's why I don't say it. I just go, how can I say this without pissing you guys off?
Yeah. Or how can I say this without getting kicked off of a jury? Or getting kicked out of jury duty. How can I say this without getting kicked out of jury duty?
Yeah, getting kicked off of jury duty.
Because the other thing is, people relate to wanting to get off of jury duty. Like nobody wants to, right? Nobody wants to. You did jury duty, right?
I just got released yesterday.
Really?
I sent them a letter.
You had to sit in a room?
No. They sent me the notification. Where the hell is it? I just had it here. They sent me the notification, and they said if you want to be excused, you have to email your reason and proof. And also, I clicked employment hardship, something like that. and I printed out the contract from Royal Caribbean saying that I'm going to be on a cruise ship. I sent that in with a nice, polite letter saying I'm an independent contractor. This is my only income. As you can see, I'm going to be out of the country on that date, and I'll be unable to. I got the email back saying you've been excused.
Nice.
But it's true. Nice. I'm going to be out of the country. I mean, that's
no, I know, but it's always nice to have fun with them and say, listen, like you said in the contract, I'm sorry, I'm going to be unavailable at 10. I'm going to be out of the country during this time period, and also I have an outstanding warrant for my arrest, so I don't think it's good if I go into a courtroom.
Can I use that? Can I use that?
I mean, there's a million ways of getting out of jury duty. Why not just that? I mean, look, we're not going to use this guy.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I swear to God, I was trying to come up with something for excuses to get out of jury duty, which is what I would do on our next. I don't want to take up time.
Yeah.
We just got started. Okay, excuses to get out of jury duty. Also, I'm going to be out of the country. I'm trying to be very polite, very respectful. As you can see, here's my contract showing you that I will be out of the country for that date, working, and it's malicious. Also, I have an outstanding arrest warrant.
I have an outstanding warrant,
which is
for my
why
arrest.
I'm out of the country. Yeah. Okay. Also, I have an outstanding arrest.
So to leave no doubt that I won't be there.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but Vinny, you weren't on jury duty, right?
No, man. No. I got close one time. And
listen, let me tell you, this is how close I got to jury duty. I never missed a trash can when I get the summons. I'm 100%. Whenever I get that summons, I always land in the trash can. That's how close I got.
Nice.
If I miss that can, I'm in trouble. Who answers? Who opens it up?
I know.
I see jury duty. I'm like, Jesus. As soon as I see the envelope that says jury duty, I say, Jesus, the mail. We never get our mail anymore. What happened to our mail? It's always lost.
I got to talk to the mailman about that.
Yeah.
I got to tell him, I'm not getting any of these summons or nothing.
Yeah. Put in a little complaint with the post office. We're not getting our mail over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I filed this complaint 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Here it is.
Nice.
I got that. Listen, I got that.
Nice.
Jury summons. But
yeah, I got that exact same thing, Vac.
Yeah. Yeah, so
we might have gotten it the same. We might have gotten that the same week. I mean, we're both Italian, lower in the alphabet. We might have got that the same week in Vegas.
What'd you do with yours?
I got it. I didn't miss.
I didn't miss
the trash can. Boom. I've never been. Listen, I'm the last guy you want in jury duty. I'm going to vote just by how you look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't like the way that guy looks.
Yeah. That's it. Lock him up.
That's it.
Dude, that's how you get out of jury duty. When the lawyer starts asking you questions, you tell him that. You go, listen, man, if the guy looks, I go, what? I go, he looks guilty to me. Are you biased? If you show any bias whatsoever, they're going to release you.
Listen,
but
you don't even looks like
you don't even want to get that.
If the guy looks like he ever played for the Boston Celtics, he's guilty. I don't even care. I don't care. If he looks anything like Paul Pierce, guilty. I don't even care.
Guilty.
You think I'm gonna? And the other thing is this: I got the shortest attention span in history. You think I could sit there for 8 hours and listen to two people talk about nothing I'm interested in? I swear to God. All I'd be thinking about is a bit when I'm in that jury box. Jesus, 10 reasons why I'll never get divorced again. Who's listening?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because at the end of the whole long drawn out trial, the question is just a 50-50 answer. There's no right or wrong. You could say whatever you want.
Yeah.
What do you vote? I vote guilty. Did you listen to the trial? Well, yeah, not really, but I vote guilty.
No, here. Yeah. Can we go? Right.
I got the attention span of a gerbil. Are you crazy?
Of a hamster. Of a hamster.
I never understand that jury duty thing. It's just like, you're actually calling me?
How bad is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're calling us. What do I know?
Really?
Listen, Jesus.
Have you seen my SAT score? Why?
I tell listen, when I go to, if I ever got summons, I say, listen, I won't even take a part in jury duty on Law and Order. I'll turn down that part if I'm in
Not
jury
that
duty.
part. That's
I
funny.
don't even care if I'm getting a scale. I don't even care if I'm getting a day rate. I'm turning the part down.
I'm turning the part down.
That's how much I hate jury duty.
That's
I've
funny.
been wanting to be on Law and Order. Listen, I wanted to be on Law and Order since I was 20 years old. If they offer me a part as a jury guy, I'm turning it down.
Turning it down. That's how
Turning it
serious.
down.
You think I'm coming to your jury? You're crazy.
Yeah. That's great. So wait a second.
Funny.
So real quick. So you guys think
Yeah.
there's potential for this? You guys think there's potential for this?
I think you could still piss people off with it by saying those things anyway.
Even with the gang affiliated people are gonna get. See, all right. Listen. I'm gonna try it again, Vac. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna bring it to this podcast. I'm gonna bring it to this podcast, and we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, listen. There's. Okay, I know that when it comes to comedy, you have to find your audience. And when you find your audience, these are the people that get me. You know. And I know they're out there. I've seen them. I've seen them in the audience. You've seen them too, Vac. You've seen them. They're the ones that are like bent over like this.
Yeah.
They can't pick their head up. They're slapping the tables. That's a Tommy T ticket buyer. That's a Vaccarello ticket buyer. Vinnie Capola ticket buyer. You've seen them. Unfortunately, when we go to a comedy club at random, the club isn't full of our ticket buyers. So that's when we're going to try these new jokes.
Right.
Well, I always thought a Tommy T ticket buyer was just someone who's not frowning. If they're not frowning, like I always you get into a bit and someone's frowning. It's like, okay, what am I doing that's making you frown? I mean,
you are unhappy to see me.
Yeah, Jesus.
Some weird shit, man.
Well, this was a lot of fun, guys. I know Tommy. Tommy, I know you're on the road. You got to get going.
This is great. I've been wanting to get on with you guys because I watch it. I always enjoy, like I said, just watching you guys talk about the bits and everything. I think it's great. So thank you for letting me come on.
Well, Tommy, anytime. I know Vac will say the exact same thing to you. We've known you for years. We love you. But if you want to do the bit, film it, bring it back to do a critique on it. Give it. Because that's basically what we do here. I'm going to do this bit, and Vac and everybody will see how it did. It's first time. Of course, I did it before, but now it's changed. So now I'm going to do it with the changes.
Okay.
All right.
We'll take a look.
Well, listen, but Vinny, the last thing I'll say is I love that you're going after a laugh with the undocumented worker in this time of our country is out of its mind with undocumentation, and you should, before you say that bit, you should say, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this bit's for AOC. Okay, let's just go into it.
All right. Yeah.
The AOC. Oh my God.
Don't get me started. All right. Tommy,
All right.
Listen, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Tommy, you can find Tommy T online. Are you still doing Twitter and all that stuff?
Yeah. Tommy Tallarino at Instagram. Tommy T Live on Instagram and Tommy Tallarino on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then also you go on Old Men in Sweats.
Oh, that's
you
right.
can find me anywhere in Old Men in Sweats.
That's right. Old Men in Sweats is the podcast. It's a sports podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not much of a sports podcast guy, but I listen to Old Men in Sweats. And you guys are so funny, dude. You make it enjoyable. Even though I don't know about stats, I don't know about guys' contracts and stuff like that, and I don't know all the players.
Well, Vinny, we don't know about the stats or contracts either. I'm just faking it with all that stuff. I don't know nothing about what I'm talking about, but it works.
It's funny, man. It's a funny podcast.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Listen, you guys take care, man. It's good seeing both of you.